Up next, let us welcome Mr. Alan Wong, Application Development Manager of APAC BlackBerry, to share with us some insights about the BlackBerry opportunity.
So, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Alan. I'm from the BlackBerry Developer Relations team. And what I do as part of the Developer Relations team is work with developers all over Asia and try to really help them integrate their applications onto the BlackBerry platform. And as you may or may not have heard, we've got we redesigned the old BlackBerry operating system that you probably are all accustomed or known to. With the new evolution of the BlackBerry 10 operating system. And what I wanted to share here today is really more on the application development side and some of the opportunities that exist that you may not be aware of. But before we go into these opportunities, we'd probably like to take a step back and really try to understand where the mobile industry is heading today, some of the mobile trends that are happening in Hong Kong or even all around the world. And this is the same type of statistics that we go through as a company before we launch a product or before we build our operating system to make sure that whatever we build is really associated and to provide the best user experience possible. So some of these mobile trends from Hong Kong that I've sort of compiled here, obviously population sitting at about 7.1 billion. But what's more interesting to note here is that the mobile phone penetration rate is actually pretty high. It's sitting at about 230%, meaning that on average for every Hong Kong resident or citizen here, on average you're actually using or owning 2.3 mobile phones. And the smartphone penetration rate is also pretty high. It's at 90%. So almost every single person in Hong Kong is already owning and using a smartphone today. And what this means for developers is that there's a huge user base out there for you to build applications and for you to drive users to your application and be able to generate generate download numbers as well. And some of the activities that these users, whether they're using their smartphones or even just the internet itself, it's actually quite interesting. So you can see that the ones that are sort of highlighted in bold are the top leading categories, and they're all related to communications. So it's all about staying in touch with friends and family, or even staying up to date on news and events that are happening around them. So it's communication between people and content, so news and whatnot. And what people do online, which is on the right side you see here, is all about social networking again. It's all about communications. And you can even see it more clearly in the top 10 activities so the left one here is the mobile phones and the right one is the smartphones. And you really, the top three sort of applies to both categories, where they're all doing text messaging or even IM, instant messaging, taking photos or listening to MP3s. So it's all about communications as well as multimedia. And by understanding these trends and that how users use their smartphones today is really what drives us to be able to come up with a product that is efficient and that the users will like. And as you've seen, the way the world communicates has really changed over the past few decades. So starting at the very left is where we sort of came into play, where we were enabling, when we had our first BlackBerry smartphones, we enabled business users to be able to send emails, to communicate to their work colleagues, even when they're out of the office, when they're on the road. But as time passes by, you'll see we see a lot more different types of ways to communicate. For example, through instant messaging like BlackBerry Messenger, or through other social networks like Twitter or Facebook, and IMs like MSN. And then we sort of evolved into groups, and that's where social networking comes into play. We're no longer communicating one-to-one. It's you're joining groups and you're getting instant information that's available to the whole group. So And as you see that mobile internet's being made available and more accessible in many other ways as well. So it's going it's not all about smartphones, tablets, PCs anymore. You're starting to see that mobile internet is actually being accessible way beyond these three platforms. So you're starting to see smart TVs being connected to the internet. You're going to be seeing a lot of cars that are going to be able to connect to the internet to be able to download the content that's context aware and be able to digest that information and display it into a visualized way for the user to see. And this is where we're coming into play. When we're building the BlackBerry 10 OS, communication is where we're paying a lot of attention to. And what we're trying to do is being able to simplify the way you communicate and also increase its productivity. So the new BlackBerry Z10 smartphone that we've launched a couple months back, we sort of have built some features around communication. One, the BlackBerry Hub, where you've got a one-stop shop for all of your notifications, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter. You've got everything handled in one single gesture that you can slide and be able to view all of your notifications at the same time. We've got the BlackBerry keyboard, where it's redesigned to be able to sort of match the experience you get on the QWERTY keyboard phone, because we know there are a lot of QWERTY keyboard fans in the past who have been sticking with BlackBerry, and we're trying to really provide that same type of experience on a smartphone today as well. And obviously, video and screen share, being able to visualize that communication. And also BlackBerry Balance, which is actually something quite unique, allowing you to be able to separate the communications that you're having with your colleagues and also communication that you're having with your friends in personal. And as we're building this BlackBerry 10 operating system, we're taking a lot of core pieces around different companies that specializes in different categories and really trying to put them together into one single platform that users can enjoy. So the first, I'm not going to go through all the list here, but the sort of mentioning some of the more important ones are QNX, which is really the baseline of the whole BlackBerry 10 operating system. So QNX is a company that specializes in embedded operating systems. And when we acquired them a year or two ago, they redesigned the whole operating system into a mobile operating system. And that's created the baseline for BlackBerry 10. And TAT, again, is also a design company that focuses on user interface design, user experience, and they're actually one of the creators of the first Android operating system user interface. So we've acquired them to bring their expertise onto the BlackBerry 10 platform so that we can provide the best optimized user experience for all of the users out there. And a lot of other companies like Tiny Hippos and Gist being able to compile all of your social networking communications all into one stop as well. And the reason why we're here today as well is because we want to be able to work with developers and to enable them to be successful, at the same time encouraging them to build applications for the BlackBerry 10 platform. And through my interactions in the past with a lot of development shops or even individual developers, what they tell me is that before they consider developing for a new platform, there are a couple things that they have to consider. And you can tell me if this is true as well. So the first one that they always mention is, if I do develop for a completely new platform, what type of return would I get? How much revenue would I be able to generate? How much potential this platform has, or this app store has that I'm targeting? And the second one is, when I decide to build for it, what type of technical support is available to me? Whether it's technical support, whether it's marketing support. That's really it's a key factor to a lot of, especially individual developers who are needing marketing support to be able to properly market their applications. And last but not least, it's also the ease of developing for the platform. So how much resource do I have to invest to be able to develop a native application for a new platform? So to touch on the first point here, in terms of return and revenue, there are some very interesting statistics that I wanted to share as well. It's from Vision Mobile, so it's a market research company We compiled data and compared across different app stores, across different platforms. In the report, you can see as well, is that they discovered that BlackBerry developers do generate more revenue than the other two platforms out there today as well. So 4% more than iOS, and 35% per month on average more than Android as well. And in terms of the cost for development, iOS apps are the most expensive to develop, 21% more than Android, and also 81% more than BlackBerry. So this is hopefully a good enough incentive to motivate developers to be able to start developing applications on the BlackBerry 10 platform. And when we come to the second point, where how easy or hard it is to develop for a BlackBerry 10 platform, you'll see that we've got 5 different development approaches that enables you to develop for BlackBerry 10. And the reason why we have this many development approaches is because we're trying to be able to keep that platform as open as possible. So no matter what skill set or background you're coming from, whether you're a web developer, whether you're an Android developer, a native C++ game developer, we welcome you. So we don't really want to force developers to go and learn a completely new language just to be able to develop for a platform. We want them to be able to take their existing skill sets and knowledge and apply them in a very meaningful way. So on BlackBerry 10 platform, all of our native applications are developed using C++ and Qt with our Cascades UI framework, but we also allow web developers to build applications completely using web technologies like HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript, as well as Adobe Air and Flash developers. So for the developers out there who have games on Facebook, for example, or on popular Flash sites, we welcome them as well to be able to easily package their games, existing games, and Air applications to make it run on the BlackBerry 10 platform as well. And last but not least, we also have the Java Android runtime that's also embedded in the operating system that allows Android developers to be able to repackage their existing Android apps to be able to run on the BlackBerry platform as well. And for the game developers, we also do support many different open source frameworks. So for example, Gameplay, which is a game framework that BlackBerry, the company, has developed to support game development activities across multiple platforms. So not just BlackBerry, but also on iOS, Android, Windows 8 as well. And also, Coco Studio is probably a popular game development platform as well as Unity, which allows you to build your game all in one stop. And just an example of the BlackBerry add-on on the Unity IDE. So it's as easy as really checking off BlackBerry support to be able to build your game on the BlackBerry platform as well. And when we're developing this operating system, we're considering one of the problems that are happening today, fragmentation across different device screen sizes, device models as well. And when we're building the Cascades UI framework, we've really kept that into mind to be able to hopefully simplify the development effort that's required for developers to maintain their applications as newer and newer devices come into the market. So what we've done is we've standardized our screen resolutions on two different screen resolutions depending on the model of the device. So we're going to be having touchscreen devices as well as QWERTY keyboard devices. And for the touchscreen devices, it would be 1280 by 720, and then for QWERTY keyboard devices, it would be 720 by 720. So we're going to be staying consistent at least for the near future, so that if you're developing an application today on the BlackBerry 10 platform, you'll be guaranteed that that same application will work across newer devices that are coming in the near future. And then the momentum has actually been picking up quite quickly as well. So when we first launched the BlackBerry 10 platform, the BlackBerry 10 smartphone earlier this year in January, we've already had 70,000 apps. Although it doesn't sound like a big number, but it's actually the largest number of applications available for a completely new platform. So none of the BlackBerry OS, the old BlackBerry OS applications work, so everything needs to be redesigned for BlackBerry 10. And developers have taken this opportunity to first step into this completely new application store to be able to get as much revenue as possible. And on BlackBerry World today, which is our app store for the BlackBerry 10 platform, we can help you as well to market your applications by placing them into what we call the featured bank. So you see at the very top screen here where the Foursquare application is being advertised or shown. We can help you feature your applications as well to make it to generate more awareness and to hopefully increase the number of user downloads. So aside from being able to support you from a app development perspective, we also can include you in some of our co-marketing events as well. For example, if we have a new device launch, we'd be able to work with you to market your application, place your icon in some of our advertisements as well. So it's a very, very close relationship working with us between developer themselves and employees at BlackBerry. And last but not least, we do have a Facebook group as well. So if you're interested in developing or even learning more about BlackBerry, feel free to join the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/bbdevhk. Or if you have any development related questions, you can also feel free to post there, and I'll be able to help you out as well. So there's going to be also a workshop today that I'll be hosting in the afternoon. If you're interested in learning how to develop a BlackBerry 10 application from scratch, I'll be showing you demos on developing using native cascades, also developing applications using web technologies, HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript, as well as supporting Android applications as well. So be sure to check it out if you're interested. And we have our annual developer conference this year for Asia in Hong Kong, September 26th and 27th. So if you're interested in joining the conference as well, mark those dates. And there's going to be a lot of experts from BlackBerry flying from Waterloo, from Canada. That'll be able to help address your questions as well. And the Europe one is just early next year. That's all I wanted to share today. Thank you very much.